Facebook Live. Sorry. I'm on the Facebook page, but I'm not sure I'm on the live.
Well, it should appear there as live now. I believe we're live.
Okay.
And I just
You see it?
Why don't you make it larger?
can.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe we're live. If you refresh that, both of our Facebook and YouTube folks, I'm going to start the webinar.
Yep. I see it live now. I see
Tracy, you need
Julia
to
and
stop your
Tracy.
video or you're going to show up on the YouTube.
I'm stopping Trace's video. All right, we're all muted except Julia on the video. I need everybody muted on all microphones except me and Julia at the moment. I believe we're on that. All right, I'm starting the webinar. I'm going to share the screen.
Let's make a joyful noise unto the Lord. I'm Tracy Owens. I'm a deaconess in the United Methodist Church here in the Western North Carolina Conference. I am also the Mission Education and Interpretation Coordinator for the Blue Ridge District. I'm on staff at Brooks Howell Home as the Director of Activities, and I'm very honored to be your song leader today. And I'm going to let Howard introduce himself.
And I am Howard Smith. I am pianist and organist here at First United Methodist Marion, and I hold a lot of titles, so I just play a lot of places.
So this morning, our theme is light this weekend, and so our music theme is going to be in the Methodist hymnal number 206, I Want to Walk as a Child of the Light. Join me in singing the first verse.
Stars
let's sing together a song number 6. Oh, let's see if I'm next to 6 something. Sorry about that. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. To
I greet you this afternoon on behalf of the entire conference team. There comes a time when God gives us the opportunity to walk through new doors. During this time when meeting in person might be unsafe, connecting our members through live virtual events is becoming possible as God calls us to move mission work into the 21st century. Lynn Gilbert will now share some technical tips for this meeting.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before we get started, I do have just a few tips to assist you with our virtual session. This is Zoom webinar, which is slightly different from the Zoom meetings you may have participated in, especially in recent months. As an attendee, your video camera will not be on during any of the session, and your microphone will always be muted. The important part is that you will be able to see and hear all the presenters as well as any slideshows and videos. If you are joining us by smartphone or tablet, you may have to swipe left and right to see everything. If you need to ask a question or bring up something on the floor, we ask that you please use the Q&A feature. You'll find that depending on the device you're using, either at the bottom of your screen or at the top, the button just found there will open it and you'll be able to type in a Q&A and that'll come straight to our team for getting an answer or for responding to your question. We have disabled the chat feature this afternoon. However, we will be using it to share information and links for you during our session today. When we do, it will be those things will be displayed in the chat box. If you want to test that right now and open your chat window, we're sharing a link to the annual celebration page of our website, and you can see other chat information that's already been put there. So you can click chat to see all of that. It's also possible to save the chat today by clicking on the little three dots near the bottom of the right of the chat box and choosing save chat. So if there are things in there you want to save, you can do that. During the business session, we will be using the polling feature to vote. When we launch a poll, it will open a box in front of the video so that you can vote. Each one will be a yes or no vote, and we're going to try and designate about 20 seconds to vote for each poll. Please press the button at the bottom of the poll to submit. The poll will open for everyone joining us by smartphone, tablet, or computer. However, we are trusting that you will participate in the polling voting delegate according to our standing rules, which are shown in the front and side cover of the program book. Just a reminder about voting, you will only be able to vote if you're logged into our Zoom webinar using an internet connected device like a computer, a tablet, or the Zoom app on your phone. Voting will not be possible if you're just calling in from a landline phone or dialing the phone number on your cell phone or watching our YouTube or Facebook live streams. So we want to give a little test poll so you can see how that will work. Lisa Bacon is going to share that right now. Poll, there it is. Which channels of United Methodist Women Mission Giving have you participated in so far this year? Check all that apply. And of course, challenge yourself to give in all 5 channels this year if you haven't already. All right, great. We have lots of votes happening and we have all 5 channels covered here. This is wonderful. Great. And then we'll say 5 seconds remaining when we're about to close. And then we will end the polling. And then the results will be shared. So you'll be able to see. So great, we have all 5 channels and the most of you have participated in Pledge to Mission. So that's wonderful. Thanks for participating in our test poll question. So I do want to say a word of thanks to others who are helping on our tech team today. This is very much a team effort to make all of this happen. Lisa Bacon, Linda Morris, Kim Schaefer, and Sarah Williams are helping us with the tech today. Also, if you know, we want you to know that the session is being recorded and live streamed on Facebook and YouTube. Those recordings will be available after this weekend. So enough technical stuff. If you have questions, please let us know in the Q&A. We are so grateful that you are here and for your willingness to adapt to new technologies. And we ask especially for your grace as we move through this meeting together. Thank you, and back to Julia.
Thank you, Lynn. The 47th annual celebration of the Western North Carolina Conference of the United Methodist Women is called to order. As we begin our annual meeting, our National General Secretary, Harriet Jane Olson, will join us via a recorded message, sharing words of hope for such a time as this.
Greetings, United Methodist Women. Greetings, sisters. I'm so glad to be able to connect with you using this medium, even while we're socially distancing to protect ourselves and others. And I'm so grateful that during this year of 2020, we're especially aware of the presence of God, the closeness of God, and the fellowship and sisterhood of United Methodist Women. It has been quite a year. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, along with people around the world. And we're experiencing the impact of social distancing and losses and having to do things in different ways and having to deal with technology. And also the economic impact. So much uncertainty. It's been quite a year. It's also been quite a year as we have witnessed the exposed wound of racial injustice over and over again, playing out before our very eyes. And of course, United Methodist Women are responding. You've made masks and more masks, and you've given money to Giving Tuesday Now. The board of United Methodist Women has redesignated some funds to make available for COVID response, and you're responding in your communities. And not only that, you're reaching out to each other. You're learning the new technologies, and you're staying connected through new means and old so that people know that they are not alone. And you're showing up. You're speaking up for racial justice. You're calling on our roots that go back as far as the Charter for Racial Justice in the 1950s to apply them to this moment. United Methodist Women, I'm so grateful for you. I was reading an article the other day about self-help and all these other things, and one of the things that caught my attention in a new way was this idea of reframing. Instead of saying, I have to do this, what about saying, I get to do this? It's my privilege to do this. Instead of saying, I have to find a way to make time in my schedule to spend daily time with God in the Bible, we say, I get to have moments, special, tender moments with the Bible in God's presence. It's a whole different thing. What if instead of saying we have had to give up our connection because of the limits of physical distancing, we said we get to connect through letter writing, through phone calling, through new technology, and we get to see the vibrancy of the sisterhood of United Methodist Women? What if instead of saying it's a time of economic uncertainty and we can't ask for people to keep up their pledge amounts, we said it's a time of great need. United Methodist Women have always responded when the need is greatest. Now is a time to give our women more opportunities to contribute, more opportunities to make a difference out of their means for those who are at critical need. And what if, instead of saying the work of racial justice right now is confusing, it's conflicted, I don't know enough, we said, we have been working on this work since 1950. We know something about this, and we know something about learning about this. What if we went back to the charter and looked at the things that were called for and said, how do I apply this in my community? What if we persisted in the reading program and the additional selections that have been provided for our learning? And what if we give extra attention to listening to each other and to people that we don't know so well, so that we are allies, we show our commitments, and we live up to who we are? United Methodist Women, this is a time for reframing, for keeping our long, long commitments to women, children, and youth, because we know that women, children, and youth are the most affected in times like this. And we reframed. We said, I get to do this. I have preparation for this. I have help for this. Because God is calling me. God is helping me, walking with me. And I'm walking with sisters to make a difference in the world for women, children, and youth. Thank you, and God bless you.
The program committee has been working for a year on this annual celebration. The program committee has been working for a year on this annual celebration. Obviously, lots of changes had to be made to accommodate this virtual meeting. Vice President Joni Strom will share from the program committee.
Thank you, Julia. I would like to acknowledge the program committee who have worked hard planning this virtual annual celebration. Julia Willis, Linda Greer, Diane Beam, Carolyn Payne, Gwen Harris, Martha Eisenberg, Lynn Gilbert, Darlene Gardner, Nancy Regal, Renee Hayes, Kathy Chadwell, and Lisa Bacon. Our musicians for this weekend are Howard Smith, pianist, and Tracy Owens, music director. Madam President, on behalf of the program committee, I present the program as printed in the online program book as the agenda for this 47th annual celebration. There is added information in the book that we usually hand out at registration.
Coming from the program committee, this needs no second. The poll is before you on the screen to accept the program book as our agenda. Please respond yes or no.
Five seconds. And ending polling. And the result.
The agenda is approved. During today's business session, we will present the 2021 budget and elect the officers for the new year. Sunday's session will include words from Bishop Leland, recognition of outgoing officers and installation of the 2021 officers, a memorial service, and the president's address. Now it is my privilege to recognize my conference team. I could not do my job without their support. The elected and appointed members of the Executive Committee: Joni Strom, Vice President; Diane Beam, Secretary; Nancy Regal, Treasurer; the 4 mission coordinators: for spiritual growth, Darlene Gardner; for education and interpretation, Linda Greer; for membership, nurture, and outreach, Renee Hayes; and for social action, Carolyn Payne. Lisa Bacon, Communications Coordinator; Kathy Chadwell, Secretary of Program Resources; Sandy Letchworth, Chair of Committee on Nominations; Jatana Royster, Parliamentarian; Betty Durham, Historian; Kathy McCauley, Scholarship Chairperson; Lynn Gilbert, Webmaster; Dixie Liggett, National Program Advisory Group; Bishop Paul Leland, Resident Bishop. Our district presidents are voting members of the Executive Committee: Sherry Summerlin, Appalachian; Gwen Harris, Blue Ridge; Janet Bork Colton, Catawba Valley; Linda Morris, Metro; Sandrea Williamson, Northern Piedmont; Deborah Ray, Smoky Mountain; Kathy Ward, Uwharrie; Martha Eisenberg, Yadkin Valley. The Committee on Nominations, Class of 2020: Michelle Matthews, Martha Phillips. Micheline Matthews. Class of 2021: Velma Zeke, Stephanie Coog. Class of 2022: Sherry Miller, Sandy Letchworth, Deborah Matthews. Class of 2023: Ann Aldridge, Laquita Barbie. The last group we want to recognize are the officers of Mission U, which are elected by the school committee: Patricia Moore, outgoing dean; Lynn Alexander, incoming dean; LaDonna Butts, business manager; Amanda Dyer, housing manager. Now, hopefully, our 5 former conference presidents are able to join us this afternoon electronically: Mildred Gibson, 1994 to 95; Liz Holbrooks, 2000-2001; Amy Johnson, 2006-2009; Mildred Carter, 2010-2013; Tanya Lanier, 2014-2017. Amy Johnson hopes to be on vacation today, but she's here in spirit and prays for God's blessings for a fruitful meeting. She is so proud of the way that Western North Carolina United Methodist women rose to meet the challenge of continuing our work during this COVID-19 pandemic. UMW have always been flexible, and that flexibility certainly came into play this year. She sends her sincere appreciation for your prayers and cards for her parents and husband. And just a special recognition and thanks to Mildred Carter for attending all 8 of the virtual district annual meetings. Presidential habits are hard to break. And if we have district superintendents or conference cabinet members or clergy in our electronic audience, we thank you for your presence. And a very special thanks to Lynn Gilbert, Lisa Bacon, Sarah Williams, Kathy Fitzjeffries, Linda Morris, and Kim Schaefer, who have taken on the responsibility of providing our technical support for these virtual meeting sessions. It's not always easy or possible to attend a person-to-person annual celebration. Perhaps this new Zoom platform will give even more ladies the opportunity to be a part of this meeting and encourage you to attend our next in-person event. Now we will enter our business session. I'll ask our Secretary, Diane Beam, and Parliamentarian, Jatana Royster, to join me at our virtual table as we conduct the business session. As we enter into a time of voting on various motions, I remind you to only vote if you are an eligible voting delegate. One voter for every 50 members of your local unit. All district and conference officers and chair of committees, past conference presidents, members of the national and jurisdiction residing in our conference, and resident bishop. The committee to approve minutes of the annual meeting is Diane Beam, chairperson, Jatana Royster, Joni Strom, Kathy Chadwell, and myself. Our parliamentarian, Jatana Royster, will establish the bar of the conference for the voting delegates.
Article 10, Rules of the Annual Celebration, are printed on page 2 in the program book. Parliamentarian authority is based on Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised. Voting delegates are those who registered as a voting delegate from your local unit, district officers, including chair of nominations, conference officers, and chairpersons of committees, and others listed in Section E of the Rules of Order. Also printed in your program book is a section from the Conference Standing Rules, Article 5, Section G, entitled Meetings by Remote Communication. This is a new section added to comply with the updated Constitution and bylaws of the National Office of United Methodist Women.
All who approve of this bar respond yes or no on the poll that now appears on your screen.
Five seconds remaining. Ending polling. And results.
The motion is approved. Diane Beam, our secretary, will share the interim action of the executive committee.
Thank you, Julia. The 2020 interim action of the executive committee. Interim action of the executive committee. The following interim action was taken by the executive committee, recorded in the minutes, and is submitted to the voting body for information and ratification. From the minutes dated November 10th, 2019, one addition was made. Amanda Dyer was elected as Mission U Housing Manager for a 3-year term to replace a vacancy. From the minutes dated February 16th, 2020, no interim action. From the minutes dated August 2nd, 2020, virtual annual celebration to be held September 26th and 27th. The theme is Walking in God's Light. Cindy Johnson, serving La Posada Provincia in the Rio Grande Conference, will be guest speaker. It was decided that attendance at a virtual district and/or conference event will count as meeting Mission Today criteria. Nominations report. Sandy Letchworth presented the proposed list of 2021 officer nominees from the Committee on Nominations for approval. The 2021 Love Offering, a gift in mission in honor of our members' faithful commitment to mission giving through good times and pandemic times. The 2021 Financial Goal. Each unit will make at least one gift to mission using any cards they have in honor of one person in mission listed in either the prayer calendar or in Response magazine. Mission Today criteria for gold, silver, and bronze levels were lowered for 2020. Updates on standing rules. Article 8, Section 5E on page 20. The conference shall reimburse up to $50 per day for the necessary care of a family member living in the home if other arrangements cannot be made for officers attending Conference United Methodist Women events or meetings. Article 8, Section 6P on page 22. 2 samplers may be ordered each year to be paid by the district, one for the president and one to be shared by other district officers as needed in order to perform their duties. Madam President, I move that the foregoing action of the Executive Committee be ratified and approved.
The following interim action taken by the Executive Committee was recorded in the minutes and is submitted to the voting body for information and ratification. Coming from a committee, this motion does not require a second. Are there any questions? Seeing none, the motion to accept the interim action is before you on the screen. Please vote yes or no.
Five seconds remaining. Ending polling.
The interim action is approved. Nancy Regal, Conference Treasurer, will present the financial report.
Western North Carolina United Methodist Women continued our tradition of making mission happen during 2019 with total mission giving of $763,129. This includes all giving through the 8 districts and all love offerings. Giving that turns faith, hope, and action into love around the world. Western North Carolina United Methodist Women, in 2019, you made the following happen for mission. Total giving through the 8 districts from your local units was $740,351. Our conference love offering was $14,301. All other love offerings totaled $8,447. Your Walk for Mission totaled $17,772. Our undesignated mission giving sent to the national office toward our pledge of $650,000 was $577,481. Designated giving to the national office was $55,694. And finally, donations to other local projects through the United Methodist Women's Conference was $5,475. In addition to the 2019 financial goal for Western North Carolina, what our goal was to increase giving in the gift to mission channel by $3,000. We met and exceeded that goal. Congratulations. Think about those numbers and what they mean. They mean Western North Carolina members are keeping that flame that started 150 years ago alive and strong. When those 8 women looked beyond themselves in their local environs and saw the greater needs in the world, you, Western North Carolina United Methodist women, live that legacy. Looking at the current year, 2020, our 2020 conference love offering theme is a gift to mission honoring and affirming clergy women, past, present, and future. As part of living that art offering, we urge each unit or member to share with us the names of those clergy women they wish to honor. Just add them to a slip of paper or memo, the memo section on your check. Some of you have, and I urge you all to do so. If you've already sent in your love offering or are making your gift online, just send the names by mail or email. You can see the addresses on the screen now. We will proudly publish that list in 2021. Our 2020 financial goal is to increase unit pledge giving by at least $5 per member. Given the current issues units are having in meeting, we do not expect to meet that goal. But we know our members give what they can when they can. Both of these were our work in progress, and we will happily continue to accept love offerings until December. Now, looking ahead to 2021, our 2021 love offering theme will be a gift to mission in honor of our members' faithful commitment to mission giving through good times and pandemic times. The 2021 conference financial goal will be each unit will make at least one gift to mission using any cards they have in honor of one person listed in mission, listed in either the prayer calendar or Response magazine article. Our intent is to recognize that with many of our meetings being turned into online events, our members' ability to get those gift to mission cards is very limited. We are letting our members know that she can send any kind of card to serve as that gift to mission. She can simply put a message of mission on the card, include it in honor of someone she read about in the prayer calendar or in Response magazine, and send it on while sending $5 or more to her unit treasurer, indicating it is in fact a gift to mission. We're now at that point in this report where we look at our proposed 2021 budgets. These are on page 10 and 11 of your program book. And the first exhibit is the 2021 budgets for each district. This is for your information. In the top section in the larger bowl, you will see District Pledge to Mission 2021, totaling $665,100. This is a decrease of $14,000 from the 2020 pledge. About three-quarters of the way down on that same page is the 8 districts' 2021 administrative and membership development budget. The total budget for 2021 is $62,075. This is a decrease of $1,050 from the 2020 budget. The next exhibit contains the conference 2021 proposed budget. Please focus on the second column from the right, proposed 2021 budget. Item 1, proposed conference budget pledged admission of $500,000. This is a decrease of $25,000. Item 2 is the administrative and membership development funds. And you will see here that the district A&M budgets are included within the conference budget. If you go to the next to the last figure on the second column from the right, Lisa's just doing a yeoman job there. Thank you, Lisa. You will see 2021 total A&MD funds of $140,505. This is a decrease of $21,750 from 2020. This decrease, it reflects our expectation that while recovery will begin next year, we believe we will still be more limited in our ability to meet face-to-face. And it also incorporates what we've learned about meeting less often in person and more often electronically, reducing expenses along the way. The budget process begins with the district finance committees and then goes to the district executive committees for approval. The conference finance committee, composed of all district treasurers, all MENIs, that's mission, education, and interpretation coordinators, and the conference elected officers, meet in August to discuss, analyze, question the district and conference proposed budgets. After approval by the conference finance committee, the budget goes to the conference executive committee for their discussion and approval. It is now presented to you for final approval. Madam President and members of the Western North Carolina United Methodist Women, the Conference Executive Committee recommends that our total conference administrative and development budget for 2021 be $140,505. This is a decrease of $21,750 from 2020.
The Executive Committee recommends our 2021 administrative and membership development budget be $140,505. Coming from a committee, this motion needs no second. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, the motion is before you on the screen. Please vote yes or no.
I have seconds remaining. Ending polling.
Motion approved that our 2021 administrative and membership development budget be $140,505.
Madam President and members of Western North Carolina United Methodist Women, the Conference Executive Committee recommends that our 2021 Conference Pledge Commission be $500,000, a decrease of $25,000.
The Executive Committee recommends our 2021 pledge to mission be $500,000. Coming from a committee, this motion needs no second. Are there any questions or discussions? Seeing none, the motion is before you on the screen. Please vote yes or no.
Five seconds remaining. And ending polling.
Motion approved that our 2021 pledge to mission be $500,000.
This is a total budget of $640,505 for the year 2021. Thank you all for what you do to support mission through United Methodist Women and your commitment to make mission.
Thank you, Nancy. Sandy Letchworth, Chair of Committee on Nominations, will now present the report of that committee.
The Committee on Nominations is asking our voting members to allow us to extend office tenure in order that the work may be done which benefits and is necessary to our conference. Madam President, as the chair of the Committee on Nominations, I move to suspend the standing rules in order to allow tenure to be extended by 1 year.
Do I hear a second to this motion?
I'll second. Jatana Royster.
Thank you, Jatana. Now, please vote yes or no on the polling screen before you.
And 5 seconds remaining. Ending polling.
The motion to suspend the standing rules in order to allow tenure to be extended by 1 year is approved.
At this time, I will present the nomination report for 2021. Our second two-year term, Diane Bean, Secretary, 2021 to 2022. Second term, two-year term, Lisa Bacon, Communications Coordinator, 2021, 2022. Under the extended part, we will do mission, education, and interpretation. Linda Greer will be extended for 1 year. On nominations, be extended for 1 year term will be Martha Phillips and Micheline Matthews. And then 1 year extended term for the Justice Today committee will be Deborah Matthews.
Thank you, Sandy, and the Committee on Nominations. We will follow the Roberts Rules of Order procedure to elect these nominees. You have heard the list of proposed officers for specific terms. You were given the opportunity to offer other nominations from the floor from a form on our website. None were received in the period 10 days prior to this meeting. I declare the nominations closed for the offices stated. I will now entertain a motion to accept the slate of officers as presented and that these officers be elected by acclamation.
I make a motion to accept the slate of officers as presented and that these officers be elected by acclamation. Joni Strum.
Thank you, Joni. Is there a second?
Yes, this is Renee Hayes, and I second that motion.
Thank you, Renee. The motion appears before you on the screen to accept the slate of officers as presented. Please vote yes or no.
Five seconds remaining. And ending polling.
And the slate of 2021 officers, Committee on Nominations Classes, and Justice Today Committee are elected. Congratulations to all these ladies. They will take office on January the 1st, 2021 for terms and classes for which they were elected. Thank you, Sandy, and your Committee on Nominations. The conference is happy to confirm the following district presidents who have been elected by their districts. For a second two-year term, Sondrea Williamson, Northern Piedmont, Kathy Ward, Uwharrie. For a first two-year term, Gwen Harris, Blue Ridge. And for an extended two-year term, Debbie Ray, Smoky Mountain. We also confirm the new Mission U school officers. Lynn Alexander, Dean, 2021-22. Term of business manager, LaDonna Butts, was extended by the Mission U committee for year 2021. Dixie Liggett will now present the National Program Advisory Group report.
This is my last report as a member of the National Program Advisory Group, and although it doesn't have to be the Gettysburg Address, I do want to leave you with a report that will let you be proud of United Methodist Women, and especially proud to be a member of the Western North Carolina Conference. Some of what I'll report, I've already reported to the Conference Executive Committee at our virtual meeting in August, but I want to report to all the members of the conference. You do remember, I hope, that the National Board of Directors deals primarily with finances, and the Program Advisory Group deals with all aspects of programming. My primary responsibility for the past 4 years has been to serve on the Legacy Fund Steering Committee. The last time the directors in the Program Advisory Group met in person was March 5 to 7, 2020, this past March, at Scarrett Bennett in Nashville. The Legacy Fund Steering Committee met separately before the full group meeting. At that time, the Legacy Fund was at $30 million, halfway to our goal of $60 million. About $5 million of that was interest earned on what had already been invested. We had reached what is called the sustaining phase of the Legacy Fund campaign. The sustaining phase includes the Legacy Builder campaign, which means giving $18.69 or more a month for 1 year or more. Each of us on the steering committee was challenged really, to recruit 10 new Legacy Builders from our respective conferences. As an entire group, Program Advisory Group, and directors, we were preparing for the Southeastern Jurisdiction meeting to be held in Mobile, Alabama, where we would be electing the new directors for the next quadrennium. Of course, 3 days after the March meeting in Nashville, the coronavirus pandemic caused a stay-at-home order. The staff in the New York office began to work from home. That's still pretty much the case now. They are just beginning to open with a skeleton staff. But the day of giving still happened, March 23rd. Remarkably, $400,803.08 was received. Staff working from home sent email thank yous to all the donors. However, for some donors, there was no email address. So Christy Campos, the development director for our jurisdiction, asked me to handwrite and write and mail thank yous to 22 donors in our jurisdiction. Now, I'm telling you this only because one woman in Virginia wrote me a thank you for my thank you to her. And I just had to write back her and thank her for her thank you to me. And now we have become letter writing friends, sharing our United Methodist Women connections and stories. The election of directors was finally held electronically on July 13th. No director was elected from Western North Carolina, but Kim Eller was elected first alternate, which means that if any elected director has to step down within the next 4 years, Kim will become a director. Tonya Lanier was elected a second alternate. We had 3 nominees for the program advisory group, and in August, Sherry Sink was the one chosen as the member of the program advisory group. Her term will begin October 10th, when mine ends. The Legacy Fund Steering Committee then met by Zoom on June 3rd. We learned that the Legacy Fund had dropped from 30 million to 28 million because of the impact of the pandemic on the stock market. Everything now has to be done in a different way. The 3 development directors, Christy Campos, Emily Marshall, and Kenya Roberts, cannot get out to meet people the way they had been doing. Committee members were reminded again of the challenge to recruit 10 legacy builders each. I admitted to myself that I had not yet done anything about that, but I had promised myself to start it then. So I became a builder myself, and I sent individual personal email invitations to United Methodist women in my circle, my district, and the conference. By the end of July, I had recruited 22 new legacy builders. And yes, I wrote thank you notes to each one. But then I decided to ask each of my builders to recruit one more new builder. Maybe some could recruit more than one. And I made it a contest with the prize going to the one who recruited the most new builders by September 1st. I can now announce the winner. Drum roll, please. Linda Morris from the Metro District. She recruited 7 builders. She will be receiving a Pearl Special Mission Recognition Pin. 2 of my builders tied for second place. Gwen Harris from the Blue Ridge District and Jeanette Bird from the Blue Ridge District. They each recruited 2 new builders and will be receiving Sapphire Special Mission Recognition Pins. Please thank these winners. In total, my 22 builders added another 16 builders. Now, because I don't want any of you to feel left out, I will be reporting more tomorrow on the Legacy Fund and the Legacy Builders. Serving as a member of the program advisory group has been one of the greatest blessings of my life. I have seen our work up close, and I have made friends all over the country. In fact, all over the world, because I have met several of our regional missionaries and have kept in touch with them. When I gave this report to the executive committee in August, I said that my report to annual celebration in September would be my swan song, because by October 10th, I will have served all the tenure I'm allowed. But apparently I'm going to be singing an encore. I am going to be continuing on the Resource Committee for Conference Mission Education and Interpretation Coordinators. And I have been asked to serve on an idea session to think about how women will gather in 2022 and what program options will be helpful. I have already had my first virtual meeting with the idea session. And I must stop and give a big thank you to Julia Willis and Lynn Gilbert for your courage in having us meet by Zoom. I learned at that idea session that 2 of the conferences have eliminated all meetings, canceled them all because they were afraid that they could not handle the technology of Zoom. I am proud of my Western North Carolina Conference, and I thank you for this wonderful time in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dixie, for that great report. The entire conference offers our congratulations to Sherry Sink as a member of the National Program Advisory Group, and to Kim Eller and Tanya Lanier as National Director alternates that will be called into actions if positions are vacated in the next 4 years. We appreciate your willingness to serve. And transition of national offices will take place on October the 10th. We also offer our congratulations to Eloise Moore and Renee Hayes, both from the Northern Piedmont District, who have completed their course of study as deaconesses. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, they have not yet been consecrated or commissioned, but are already working in their areas of service. We appreciate your dedication to your calling. This concludes our business session. Now, at some point, I hope you will take time to read the other various reports from committee chairs in your online program book that's found on the conference website. We will now hear from other conference team members. Linda Greer, Conference Mission Education and Interpretation Coordinator, will present a mission moment.
Linda, we are not hearing you. We're not hearing you. We're still not hearing you. Is your headset plugged in good?
Yes, I just unplugged
Okay,
it.
now we can hear you.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. Good afternoon. Traditionally, we have annual celebration at beautiful Lake Junaluska, and we participate in a mission session when we celebrate and revere the dedicated years of service of our retired and active missionaries, deaconesses, past conference presidents, and former conference MENIs. Postcard invitations were mailed to those who have traditionally joined us in person, inviting them to join us virtually. If you are here, welcome, and thank you so deeply for your service. Let's pause for a few seconds to honor these courageous men and women who answered God's call and spread God's love all over the world. Thank you. Also, if we were at the lake now, many of us would be involved in collecting and counting and packing kits for UMCOR and Project Agape. You may still do those collections and deliver them to the Mission Response Center or to a collection site near you. See your latest conference gram for more information about that, or feel free to contact me. We do want to keep account of all the collections so that we can see what an impact that we UMW members are making toward those programs. Those hands-on collections are needed. However, our mission giving is key. While many churches support Project Agape and UMCOR, some of our UMW missions are only funded by United Methodist Women. The dire needs of women, youth, and children who benefit from our mission projects have only increased during this time of pandemic, and we need to be very intentional about continuing our mission giving. UMW supports 8 regional missionaries who work with women, youth, and children in Cameroon, Africa, Sierra Leone, Japan, the Caribbean, Latin America, Asia, and the Pacific. Our mission focus listed in our prayer calendar today is United Methodist Neighborhood Centers in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They're also known as the Bethlehem Center, and they provide before and after school care for inner city school children. Recently, they have begun providing help with virtual learning for school children as well. Their program strategy focuses on 4 key areas: spiritual growth, education and literacy, leadership development, and economic empowerment. They feel that spiritual growth is essential to the inner transformation of hearts and people, and we UMW members know that is true. United Methodist Women Mission Giving supports nearly 300 additional projects that serve to empower women and enhance the lives of women, youth, and children, both in the U.S. and around the world. Today, our prayer calendar lists no birthdays, but I would like to lift up all our deaconesses and home missioners that we support, as well as those ladies and gentlemen who are in the program preparing to become deaconesses and home missioners. I'm sure you're as excited as I am to hear from one of our deaconesses, Cindy Wonder Woman Johnson, in just a little while. Our mission giving is essential to ensure the continuing benefits to the programs that we support. Won't you join me this year in striving to live more simply so that we can help others to simply live?
Thank you, Linda. Now we will hear from Renee Hayes, Conference Membership, Nurture, and Outreach Coordinator, as she shines a light on our districts.
Hi, I'm Renee Hayes, your Conference Mission Coordinator for Membership, Nurture, and Outreach. District presidents have provided highlights from their 2019 events, which demonstrated how you have shined God's love into our districts. We will begin with the Yadkin Valley District. In May of last year, the Yadkin Valley Membership, Nurture, and Outreach team hosted a Wear a Hat, Bring a Hat tea. Many different types of hats were worn, and 190 hats were donated to cancer services in Winston-Salem. The program, shared by Pastor Pat Dixon, focused on the many hats worn by Ruth in the Old Testament. District President Martha Eisenberg discussed the health benefits of tea, and chocolates and encouraging scripture verses were shared as part of this day of fun, fellowship, learning, and giving. In the Uwharrie District, First United Methodist Women in Norwood celebrated the United Methodist Women's 150 years of mission with a fashion show that included youth and young at heart, and a bake sale that garnered $700 in proceeds going to the Legacy Fund. 4 units participated in a Days for Girls work day, preparing hygiene items and bags to send abroad where feminine products are not readily available and cultural norms often cause girls to miss many days of school. A back to school bash last August provided 150 book bags filled with school supplies for area students. Smoky Mountain District had a mini Mission U hosted by Maggie Valley United Methodist Women, focusing on the United Methodist Missionary Conferences, Alaska, Redbird, and Oklahoma Indian District conferences, led by Becky Hall of Christ United Methodist Church in Chattanooga, Tennessee. First United Methodist Women in Silva hosted a day apart spiritual growth retreat led by the district superintendent, Linda Kelly, which focused on achieving reconciliation and building relationships. Celebrating our 150th anniversary capped off Smoky Mountain's annual celebration at the Hinton Rural Life Center. Local units throughout the Northern Piedmont District have shown the light of God's love in their communities, many in partnership with each other. Several units planned fun activities for kids at a High Point housing complex with snacks, free haircuts, and clothing giveaways. Christ United Methodist Women in Greensboro celebrated Leap Day with a craft fair supporting its local mission focus that provides housing and comfort to children in crisis. Gideon's Grove United Unit packed treat bags to include with food boxes being handed out at a Stokesdale food pantry during the holidays. The Metro District strove to walk in God's life throughout 2019. Their prayer breakfast theme was celebrating the past, embracing the future, and included a celebration of the 150th birthday of United Methodist Women. Over 200 ladies were blessed by Reverend Beverly Malden's message and enjoyed birthday cake. Metro's Walks for Mission were held at various locations, including Aldergate's retirement community, and raised nearly $2,000. Laquita Barbie facilitated the Metro Mission Study on What About Our Money, and their 2019 annual celebration, Prayer, Praise, and Perseverance, challenged units to continue supporting United Methodist Women's mission with faith, hope, and love in action. District Superintendent Angela Pleasance was featured speaker at the Catawba Valley Spiritual Growth and Memorial Service. Her topic was Living Up to Your Potential. Food was collected by the 245 participants for the Dallas Christian Social Ministry. The district's own Ingrid Russell, president of the Under 30 unit at Krause United Methodist, appeared in Response magazine as she received her U.S. citizenship at a naturalization ceremony in April. The Blue Ridge District walked in God's light by celebrating United Methodist Women's legacy of mission and trying to revitalize local units and the district. On March 23rd, the anniversary of that first meeting of women that evolved into our organization, their prayer breakfast was held. As many units held United Methodist Women's Sundays in their churches to raise awareness about our mission work, attendance increased at many district events. Leadership training was revamped to appeal to a broader audience and included workshops on UMCOR kits and how busy women can prepare effective programs. The Appalachian District acknowledged our 150th United Methodist Women's birthday with elaborate cakes and celebrations. Reverend Holly Adams brought a message of grace, hope, and celebration to the prayer breakfast hosted by Wilkesboro United Methodist Women. The district mission study at Greach's Garden United Methodist focused on what about our money and several social action areas that our mission giving supports, urging everyone to complete specific action statements of intent. Months ago, as we all envisioned plans for 2020, in all likelihood, none of us imagined how different our perspectives would be. We have all experienced loss of physical closeness, of access to resources, even of loved ones. But we've also had an opportunity to grow in our prayer life, in our faith, in our exposure to technology we may never thought we'd attempt. Our chance to become a truly creative, supportive fellowship has probably never been so important. As we look back and celebrate last year's achievements and the last 150 years' legacy, may we eagerly embrace our future by leaning into the present situation and setting examples to our churches and our communities of resourcefulness, resilience, and reconciliation. God has blessed us to be a blessing to others for such a time as this. Congratulations to all 8 districts.
Thank you, Renee. Our Vice President, Joni Strom, will now introduce our speaker for the afternoon.
You're muted, Joni.
All right, I'll start again. I was first introduced to Cindy Johnson and her remarkable work by Dixie Liggett. And when that happened, I saw Cindy Johnson on Facebook, in the 2020 prayer calendar, and in various other venues. Cindy was born and lives in Brownsville, Texas. She is a teacher by profession and worked with students who were expelled from their homes because of trouble with law enforcement. She was involved in local justice issues within and near her community, building ramps for the disabled and assisting with home repairs, visiting detention centers, assisting with justice for our neighbors' clinics, and advocating for immigration policies. Cindy is a lifelong United Methodist, and she has participated actively in her local, district, conference, and jurisdiction United Methodist women teams and initiatives. Feeling that teaching alone would not allow her to sincerely implement the commission that our Lord has given us, Cindy committed to mission service and was consecrated a deaconess of the United Methodist Church. She accepted a 2-year obligation to serve as a public witness organizer with United Methodist Women. She is known for her creativity as she comes up with new ideas and implements them, for her effectiveness in using social networking to organize, and for building personal relationships. When she officially retired from teaching, Deaconess Cindy began working with the United Methodist Women National Office by serving as a consultant with the Office of Deaconess and Home Missioner. In that position, she served around discernment, helping individuals around the country discern their calls to ministry, and promoting and educating individuals about the opportunities for laity in the church. Cindy continues to serve in that role today. In addition to her work in La Posada Providencia in the Rio Grande Conference, providing shelter to poor immigrants and helping them to integrate more quickly in the United States culture. In her ministry, she feels she is focusing on her true calling, which is working with the immigrant population. Cindy has served on multiple occasions as a delegate to General Conference, several terms as a board member for the General Board of Church and Society, and as a member of the Program Advisory Group of United Methodist Women. She served on the board of Good Neighbor Settlement House, a national mission institution. Cindy is bold, courageous, and audacious for justice. And she says, thanks God every day for providing her with a wonderful family and friends. It is my great pleasure to present Cindy's message for all of us, challenging all of us to work for justice every day of our lives. Keep in mind where this message was filmed. It was in Cindy's office and then outdoors at a camp where immigrants live, waiting a chance to enter the United States. When Cindy is outside, focus on her and her guests, and perhaps increase your volume if you can.
Good morning. I'm just starting off my talk with this postcard because we are advocating for our migrant brothers and sisters. And in this postcard, it says, "We migrants are still here, Matamoros. Nosotros los inmigrantes todavía estamos aquí." The reason I start with this is I feel that it's very, very important to advocate. And I spend a lot of hours here in my little office advocating for our brothers and sisters. If you see here right now, we have over 600 cards, and I'm going to pick up some more because the policies that are in place are just horrible. I've been working on migration for many, many years, and these last 2 years have been really, really tough. It has really hurt people. They started taking children from their parents more than ever. Then they started also stopping people from even asking for asylum. So I wanted to point out that there's this, it's been tough on the migrants and everyone. So one of my favorite things to sustain me is this verse. And it says, "I can do all things to Christ who strengthens me," Philippians 4:13. And I changed it to, "We can do all things to Christ who strengthens us." Because I see the light of each migrant in our brothers and sisters, our migrant brothers and sisters. I see Christ in them, and that is how we can do our work. I'm going to go back to this card because of these policies here. What had happened was, in the beginning, about 2 years ago, they started splitting families, taking the children away. And then the other thing they started doing was started to put, not allow people to come to the United States. It was called metering. There were people on the bridge waiting, and they would wait 2-3 days. So that's where we started going to the bridge and asking, what food do you need? What are the needs you need? So they could wait there on the bridge. And my husband and I and some other groups would go and do that, and we were kind of paying for all that out of our pocket. Then they changed the laws, and instead of metering, they said, you have to be in the other side in Matamoros, and we'll call you by numbers. Then the numbers started getting bigger, like 50 people. After that, we started to document things on video and talk about it. And people, United Methodist and other groups, started deciding that they wanted to help, and we started a ministry. But what happened, it got bigger than that. They said, you know what, we're not going to let you go. We're going to call you a different way, and it was called Migrant Protection Protocol, MPP, which is a horrible policy. People are in Mexico in horrible conditions. They're not getting a lot of help from the government, really none. So groups started to help. I picked up on the medical piece where I would take people to the doctor or to get medical help. And for a long time, we didn't have any groups there, but then doctors came through. So we've been trying to do this as United Methodist and United Methodist Women doing this work, but now it's grown to a bigger thing, which I'm very, very thankful. So I'm going to do this video in two pieces. First is what we do at home, which is advocate and work with the people at the camp to advocate. The other thing that we spend some time with is the time of taking stuff to Mexico. And I'm going to show you what we're doing at home, and then I'll show you a video. We'll do a video in Matamoros at the camp. So here is really an area where we get things in. It's like our staging area, things come in. If you notice, a lot of medical stuff we advocate for medical stuff, and then a lot of really basic stuff that babies need. And here we pack it up. I get calls yesterday, a newborn was born, so they call me up and I'm gonna be taking stuff. And then over here is the stuff we are gonna take today. We're gonna take this today. Pedialyte, it's extremely hot. The conditions are bad. I'm gonna talk right now real quickly because I'm gonna show you the camp in a little while in the next video, but I'm gonna talk real quickly. The conditions in Mexico are bad. It's very hot. We've had a hurricane. There's no basic stuff. There's no basic running water. They have to bring it in trucks. The restrooms are horrible. There's no electricity. It's very, very primitive. There's also a lot of issues of safety. We have people can get sick very easily there because of the sanitary conditions. COVID is a problem also. So there's a lot of issues. And safety, I'm talking about, there's cartels there in Mexico. So the migrants there have to be careful. So we need to really, really advocate that people come into the United States. I will show you the camp in a while, and I will tell you about how fantastic these migrants are. They're fantastic people. They're people that we should invite, and they are asylum seekers. If you heard their stories, they're horrific. Stuff that is really, really sad. I'm not going to be talking about that there because I don't want to re-traumatize people. But I just want to tell you, thank you for helping the migrants. You are the light. You are Christ as they are. And we will do another video over there with all this information. Blessings.
Hello, I'm Deaconess Cindy Andrade Johnson, and it's Tuesday again, and I'm here with this wonderful doctor. And what's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Anik Patel. I'm a pediatrician in Salt Lake City.
Okay, he's a pediatrician, perfect, because, like, you know, we just got about $300 worth of medication and some other stuff, and what we're going to ask is for more funds for medication and, like, bands for legs and something you need, but also they're asking, and I'll put it on the Amazon wish list, and if you send me funds I can buy, we need a lot of children's vitamins, and what is it called for the women?
Prenatal vitamins.
Prenatal vitamins for the women. So what I'm trying to say is the camp here was with about 2,500 people. Now we're down to about 1,000.
Yeah, I think about 1,000 people. Most of them are women and children, it seems like.
1,000 of them, mostly women and children. So I have always focused on the medicine, so I'm really excited that we have a pediatrician. What can you tell us?
Yeah, well, hi. So we have a lot of kids here. Most of the common ailments that we see here are mostly things like diarrhea, things like weight loss or decreased weight, and then also a lot of rashes. So I think with a lot of these kids being out in the elements, I think they're getting a lot of kind of minor illnesses that just need a little bit of treatment, and treatments that we can afford for the most part, and they're easy to give and pretty easy to treat. But you know, the things that kids really need a lot of are things like educational materials, things like medications. But you know, even despite all of that, despite all of how difficult it is out here, you see the kids and they're so resilient and so happy for the most part, and they're doing the best they can given the situation.
Yeah, and what we want to also highlight is still they are doing such a great job because there's no running water. They bring the water that comes in. Yeah. The cooking, they cook on the firewood. Yeah. For showering and everything, it's still very primitive. You can go that way. So we have a small group. So the big important thing that we're going to ask, we're still asking for things because we're still socially distanced and everything. These families have gone through really bad weather. It's extremely hot. Our big thing is also advocacy. This has to end. We have doctors coming from Oregon.
Sorry, Utah.
From Utah, from all over the country because there's such a need to take care of the people here. So we're saying this is not a good place for anyone, for children, the newborns. There was a newborn. I came and brought some. So we need advocacy. I know this video was going to be shown at a church event and in a classroom at the university. We're saying, yes, people are trying their best, but this policy that the Trump administration and our government has put in place is wrong. And there's other better ways for migrants to come into the country and for refugees to be processed.
Yeah,
Would you like to add something?
Yeah, no, I was going to say no kid should deserve to have to live in these sort of conditions. You know, in the heat, the humidity, the disease. You know, their parents are doing the best they can, but it's also not a safe place for these kids to be. And every day you see the river. The river's right there, and you see the U.S. It's kind of temptingly close. And you just always feel for these kids because you're so close to freedom and safety and security. Yeah, so I agree completely.
Okay, thank you for all of you that have volunteered and send us funds. We can't do without funds of doctors. That I've met so many doctors that are incredible that have volunteered their time. The funds, and we want those vitamins. I'll put it in the Amazon list, the vitamins and the prenatal for the children and for the mothers. Blessings to all of you. Bye-bye.
Tardes, como pueden ver, todos me conocen. Venimos a hablar del tema de la desesperación.
Good afternoon. Like you all know me, we're coming here to talk about the theme of desperation. This is the second time.
Nosotros los niños no podemos estudiar ni nuestros padres trabajar. Estamos muy desesperados y es mucho tiempo de estar aquí.
Us as children, we can't go out and study, and our parents can't work. We're very tired of being here.
Y le pedimos al presidente que se deje pasar de por favor. Y que porque los otros niños no queremos estar aquí, ya es prácticamente un año.
We asked the president to please let us pass, and the children don't want to be here. We've been here almost a year.
Bueno, aquí les paso a mi amiga para que le explique un poco más el tema de la desesperación.
Here comes my friend that's going to talk more about the theme of desperation.
Buenas tardes, como les estaba diciendo mi amiga, hoy es el día que venimos a hablar de la desesperación.
Good afternoon. Like my friend says, today's a day we're going to talk about our desperation.
La verdad de las cosas, ya tenemos mucho tiempo de estar aquí y pues ya no queremos seguir aquí.
The thing is, we've been here a very long time and we don't want to be here anymore.
Lo único que nosotros queremos, bueno, yo, ella y ella lo que queremos es estudiar.
The only thing we want, my friends and my two friends, is that we want to study.
Queremos estudiar porque ya tenemos mucho tiempo de estar aquí, no hemos podido estudiar, nuestros padres no han podido trabajar.
We've been here a very long time. We haven't been able to study, and our parents haven't been able to work.
Hemos sufrido muchas cosas para llegar hasta acá y pues vamos a seguir acá primeramente Dios para poder entrar a Estados Unidos.
We've gone through a lot to get to this place and suffered through a lot. And we're here so that we can go to the United States.
Por favor, señor presidente, nosotros no queremos ir a hacer daño a su país. Lo único que queremos es un mejor futuro.
President, we don't want to go and make harm in the United States. What we want is a better future.
Lo único que queremos es ir a trabajar o a estudiar, no sé, pero no queremos hacerle daño a nadie ni robar nada.
All we want to do is work and study. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to steal. We don't want to do anything wrong.
Yo sé que hay personas malas, pero también hay personas buenas y no todos somos iguales.
I know there's some bad people and there's some good people, but we're not all alike.
Y pues aquí le voy a pasar a mi amiga para que le siga explicando sobre el tema de la desesperación.
And now I'm going to pass you to my friend that will continue talking about the theme of desperation.
Primeramente, buenas tardes. Como mis amigas están explicando, ya prácticamente es un año para muchas personas en el campamento.
Like my friend has said first, good afternoon. Like my friend said, we've been here for over a year for a lot of people here in the camp.
Y no sabemos cuál va a ser nuestro fin, de si vamos a poder cruzar. Muchas personas no pueden regresar a sus países por el riesgo que hay, por las razones que salen de sus países.
We don't know what our future is, but if they send us to our home country, there's so many dangers there. There's so many things that we can't predict.
Porque hay muchos peligros en nuestros países, nos pueden matar.
Because there is a lot of dangers in our countries, they can kill us.
Y por eso nos ha tocado soportar todo un año y no sabemos qué tanto más va a durar.
We have suffered a whole year. We don't know how much longer we're going to have to be here.
Y nosotros solo queremos una oportunidad para poder cruzar y salir de ese lugar.
We just want an opportunity to cross and leave this area.
Porque no sabemos cuándo vamos a salir de este lugar, porque hay muchas personas se desesperan, los niños toman decisiones en cuál va a ser su final. Hay muchas personas que se van y no saben el riesgo que toman.
We don't know what's going to happen, and a lot of people are taking, because they are so desperate, are taking some chances, and they don't know what their chances are in whatever they do.
Por ejemplo, como el muchacho que cruzó, él murió por un sueño, pues le pasó, se ahogó por dar un mejor futuro a su hijo.
Like the man that passed, he went through the river, and because he had a dream to go there for his son, and he drowned and died here.
Es muy duro lo que está pasando esa familia, pero por todo un sueño americano por poder tener un mejor futuro para toda su familia.
It's very hard what happened to this family, but they had that dream to go to the United States, and he died, and it's very, very devastating for the family.
Es muy doloroso lo que la familia está pasando ahorita, bueno, también para todos, porque él era una gran persona, pero
it is very, very hurtful for his family and for our whole camp.
Porque él cruzó ese río por darle un mejor futuro a su hija.
He crossed that river to give a better future for his
por un
daughter,
sueño.
for a dream.
Y pues la verdad de las cosas no queremos pasar eso todos, pero por favor, señor presidente, se lo pedimos, señor presidente, nosotros no queremos hacerle daño a nadie.
We don't want to go through that fate. President, we don't want to hurt anyone. Please help us.
Y muchas gracias y espero que puedan ver este video, por favor, y que cada quien que lo vea, que Dios los bendiga. Y muchas gracias por ponernos atención un ratito.
Thank you very much, and everyone that's watching this video. And yo voy a ponerme en el video ahorita porque quiero decir algo. I'm going to get in the video right now because I want to say something. These young people have suffered, and they shouldn't even be talking about death and dreams and their parents. To hear this is inhumane. That they know about a death, and because a dream, because they just had to get from one place to another. They had to just get to the United States. They've been waiting for over a year. For over a year, they have done what they're supposed to do. It is now desperation. The heat, the hurricane, COVID, all these things. Hearing these things that these young people have to endure is heartbreaking. No one in this world should go through this. Thank you.
Bye.
We have some information to share with you. Do we have something to put on the screen? There we go. This is the information is on the screen is where you could send money or items to help with the health and welfare of these precious people waiting, where faith, hope, and love is the action that we take as United Methodist women. I talked to Cindy a few weeks ago, and in 24 hours, there were 3 people that lost their lives swimming the river just to get have freedom. We all need to pray for these wonderful people. Now, let's pray together. May the peace of God deliver you from fear. May the joy of God allow you to appreciate. May the love of God fill your heart with boundless love for all humankind. Walk in God's light. Amen and amen.
This is the Saturday closing. Welcome back, and we're going to sing This Little Light of Mine, number 585 in the United Methodist Hymn. Now we're going to sing from the Faith We Sing again, number 2172, We Are Called, verses 1 and 3.
For the kingdom to live in.
And now we'll end this session with our theme song, I Want to Walk as a Child of the Light. Let's sing verse 2, number 206.